Greetings, colleagues. Thank you for joining us today for this Planetary Health Conference. I'm Barbara Dossi, and I am the International Co-Director of the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health, and I'm speaking to you today from my home office in Santa Fe, New Mexico, in the USA.
And I'm Diva Marie Beck, the other international co-director of the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health. And I'm coming to you from my home office in Ottawa, Ontario, in Canada. So today, we're introducing the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health to be exhibiting this video for our co-sponsored Planetary Health Virtual Global Conference for Nurses and Midwives.
Our work at the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health has as a foundational element Florence Nightingale's philosophy and her legacy. I want you to look at the dates under her face there. 1820 is the year she was born, so far away. 1910, it may seem far away, but let me say, I was born in 1943, so she died 33 years before I was born. Nightingale called for two identities for us. First, sick nursing, and she said sickness or disease is nature's way of getting rid of the effects of conditions which have interfered with health. It is nature's attempt to cure. We have to help her. And health nursing. Health is not only to be well, but to use well every power we have. And she said, you must form public opinion. Nightingale wrote more than 200 books, pamphlets, and reports on health-related issues, articles for popular journals, newspaper letters to the editor, plus 14,000 handwritten letters still available in archives across the world. So what would she have done with email, social media, and YouTube? Think about her with the internet. What would she have done with health is not only to be well, but to use well every power we have? Nurses are oriented to tools and to task. Information is our global tool, and information sharing advocacy is our global task.
And with this, we're introducing the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health, often called NIE. NIE is a grassroots to global movement and growing worldwide community of friends and colleagues created to bring the voices of nurses, midwives, and concerned citizens into advocacy for global health concerns, engaging us to do in our time what Florence Nightingale did in her time. For instance, she connected environmental degradation with illness. In the 1870s, she wrote for a popular magazine about how deforestation was causing floods and the related increase of cholera death. And one of our founders, Wayne Kynes, who was also the founding director of communications for the United Nations Environment Program, he helped to found what we're doing with the Nightingale Initiative. We are proud of NIE's environmental activism roots. Since our founding in 2006, NIE has become a catalytic grassroots to global INGO, further developed through advocacy projects, experiential workshops and webinars, keynotes, journal articles, textbook chapters, multimedia, websites, videos, and UN briefings. In 2018, I was granted special consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council. Thus, with this status, we are developing feedback loops to officially engage our grassroots to global voices in global dialogue, advocating for global health. Starting in 2000, advocating for the UN Millennium Development Goals from 2000 to 2015, and then for the Sustainable Development Goals from 2015 to 2030. And for this specific conference, the Planetary Health Global Virtual Conference for Nurses and Midwives, we're focusing on global health and well-being, climate action, and partnerships for these goals.
As we began our work in the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health, and that NI stands for the first four letters in the name Nightingale. That's how we came up with what we called our work. We realized from the very beginning that our work was very big and that we had to begin with a philosophical foundation, and that was with Nightingale and healing and her work around sick nursing and health nursing and all of her vast work. And we elected to use my theory of integral nursing, which is a grand theory, to begin to ground this work. I want to right now just look at one small aspect of this theory. You can see that there are four quadrants here, and I'm starting in the upper left quadrant. What is important is we have to look at who am I? What am I doing? And what is it that I value and want to live into? Then we go down to the lower left, and you see a question we asked there. Who are we together? And look at the left side of this model. This is the subjective, the interpretive, and the qualitative aspect. So you and we come together and we're in this we space. And you see the words in the very center there. I is that upper left quadrant. And the we then is here how we bring our relational cognitive intelligence together. Let's go over to the right side in these two other quadrants. And in the upper right, you will see in the small center the it. Anytime we speak of anything outside of ourselves, it's like it's the PowerPoint. So a question here is how do you take what you value, your interiority, to the external world, the exterior? And what do I do? What am I modeling? What am I doing that really tanks my values out into the world? Going now to the lower right quadrant, the worldly self, and look at the question here is what do we design and create together? And you also see on this side of the four quadrants, this right side is objectable, measurable, and quantitative. And in our work, we know that our research is even bigger and bolder when we can do both subjective and qualitative, interpretive and measurable, the qualitative and the quantitative work. Now, Nye has, from the integral model, then what we did in Nye was create four integral mandates. So again, looking at the inner self, it's nurture noble purpose. In the relational self, this is when we come together. We celebrate our diversity and our common ground. And then going to our outer self, it's engaging our public voices. And I have one voice, but I do it in many different ways. And then the worldly self is when we come together with our bold, big projects to create healthy people living on a healthy planet. And this is about promoting global health and well-being.
All of these are factors in developing all of our projects, including the Planetary Health Global Virtual Conference for Nurses and Midwives, collaborating with nurses, midwives, including students and retirees, and with stakeholders from across each of the 6 World Health Organization regions. In 2023 to 2025, we partnered to share our Nurses' Voices speaker series featuring 50 nursing leaders from across the world, co-hosted by the United Nations Institute for Training and Research and co-sponsored by the Global Academy for Holistic Nursing, the Integral Nurse Coaching Association, and the Commonwealth Nurses and Midwives Federation. And then we did it again with student nurses' voices, featuring 102 students from 30 nations. All of these faces are student nurses from across the world collaborating with us with their voices. In 2025, Nye was honored to be elected to the board of the Conference of Non-Governmental Organizations in Consultative Status for the United Nations. We are on the board of a group of 600 leading NGOs, INGOs from across the world. And we are privileged to be part of sharing and involved in that amazing group of people working on the causes we care about. And now for our Planetary Health Conference, we're featuring 90 plus expert nurses, midwives, and related stakeholders from 34 nations in all 6 regions of the World Health Organization, all advocating for a healthy world.
And we want to say thank you. Thank you so much for your interest in these endeavors. And we appreciate your participation and your collaboration as we co-sponsor our Planetary Health Global Conference for nurses and midwives. Again, you can see our work at the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health, and that website is www.nivision.net. Diva, this is beyond anything that we've imagined. We've been working on this for a very long time with Teddy and Ray and Heidi and others, all of our speakers. And I just get spirit bumps when I think about how exciting it is. And again, it's how this has worked is because it's back to the theory. We're in this we space, we're not doing it alone, and we are partnering and we're taking the work further than we can imagine.
Oh, yes, indeed, Barbie. And we're living into, well, I get goosebumps thinking about how Florence Nightingale would be cheering us on. I remember
She is.
she said, health is not only to be well, but to use well every power we have. And now we're using Zoom and
Right.
a
And
platform that gives people a platform that gives people the opportunity to be uh, 90 experts sharing with each other and all and available for people across the world to see us.
right. And one of the things that we love about Nightingale's work, she called her work her must. And this is what you and I have done together with colleagues is we found our must. And we invite all of you that are listening to us today is identify your must in your work.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be recording this for you.
Yes.